That night, the wind blew softly, carrying the smell of wet earth after the afternoon rain. The old graveyard on the edge of the village was still covered in a thin mist that lingered among the mossy tombstones. A young man named Arman, the new graveyard keeper, walked hesitantly into the cemetery. His task was simple: guard the graveyard so that no one stole wooden markers, no wild animals wandered in, and no mischievous kids played in the haunted place. But the villagers had warned him the real danger wasn't that. "If you hear a woman crying among the graves, don't turn around," the village head said, his voice trembling. "If you see a white gown pass by, pretend you didn't." Arman had laughed at the time. To him, these were nothing but village tales meant to scare. But his first night would prove otherwise. Around midnight, he sat in the small guard post near the entrance. The kerosene lamp flickered dimly. In the distance, a dog howled long and loud. Then, silence. Just as he was about to doze off, a faint sound emerged, a woman sobbing softly, like someone grieving. Arman jumped to his feet, his heart pounding. The sound came from inside the graveyard. Gripping his small flashlight, he forced himself to enter the burial ground. Old tombstones stood in rows, some leaning as if ready to fall. The crying grew clearer. Step by step, he followed it, his breath unsteady. Suddenly, between two frangipani trees, he saw something. A woman in a long white gown stood with her back to him. Her long hair cascaded down, covering her face. The gown was dirty, smeared with soil. Arman froze. His body stiffened. He remembered the warning: don't turn, don't approach. Yet the figure slowly turned halfway, revealing half of her pale, scarred face. Arman wanted to run, but his legs felt nailed to the ground. The sobbing twisted into a faint, chilling laugh, and in an instant, she vanished. Arman collapsed to the ground, his breath ragged. He dared not move closer, only staring at the spot where she had been. Silence fell again, as if nothing had ever happened. That first night made him realize the villagers' stories were no mere myth. Something truly haunted the graveyard.
The next day, Arman asked the villagers about the woman in white. Some refused to speak, others whispered fearfully. Finally, an old man named Pekwirio was willing to tell the tale.
Decades ago, there was a woman named Sari, a beautiful young lady who lived not far from the village. She was known for her kindness, but her life ended tragically. Sari was found dead in the graveyard, her body covered in wounds, her white gown soaked in blood.
It was said she was the victim of someone's revenge, though the truth was never revealed. Her body was buried hastily in that graveyard. Since then, villagers often saw a woman in white wandering among the tombs, crying, screaming, even following people home.
She was never at peace, Pekwirio whispered. Her spirit wanders, seeking answers to her death. That is why she appears. The story made Arman's hair stand on end. He remembered vividly how she had stared at him the night before. Was that truly Sari, or something darker, wearing her face?
On the second night, Armin stood guard again. He brought prayers his mother had taught him, hoping they would shield him. Around 1 a.m., the sobbing returned, louder this time. Armin covered his ears, trying not to hear. Yet slow footsteps approached. Through the mist, the white gown appeared again. She walked toward his guard post, step by step. The kerosene lamp flickered violently, as though shaken by cold wind. Armin clutched his prayer beads, reciting verses in his heart. The figure stopped just a few meters from him, then spoke in a faint, broken whisper. "Why did they leave me here?" The voice cut into his soul, filled with sorrow and rage. He wanted to answer, but his tongue froze. When he blinked, she was gone. From that night on, Armin knew he wasn't just seeing a ghost. The woman in white was trying to say something.
The third night was the most terrifying. Armin felt the air grow heavier, pressing on his chest. Around 2 a.m., footsteps echoed among the graves. Not just one, but many, like a crowd walking slowly on wet earth. Armin shone his flashlight, but nothing was there. Then, a whisper grazed his ear, though no one was near. "Stay with me. Stay with me." He jumped, spinning around, but saw nothing. From the corner of his eye, however, the white gown darted swiftly between tombs, appearing, vanishing, reappearing. Moments later, a woman's laughter rang out across the graveyard. It was shrill, long, and heartbreaking all at once. Armin covered his ears, but the sound grew clearer inside his head. The kerosene lamp suddenly went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Only the pale moon faintly lit the mist. And there she was, standing atop an old tombstone. Her head hung low, hair falling forward, then slowly lifted. Black, hollow eyes stared straight at him. Her mouth gaped unnaturally wide, groaning. Her gown was no longer just dirty. It dripped with fresh blood, spilling onto the ground.
Armin couldn't bear it. He ran toward the gate, though his chest tightened with each step. But his legs felt heavy, as though invisible hands pulled him back. As he neared the gate, a piercing scream exploded behind him. "Don't leave me!" He fell to the ground, trembling. When he looked back, no one was there, only mist. Yet the scream echoed in his ears until he fainted at the graveyard's entrance.
After that night, Armin resolved to uncover the truth. He searched old village records and met an elderly woman who had once been Sari's friend. From her, he learned the shocking reality.
Sari was not just the victim of a random murder. She had witnessed a dark secret: the illegal sale of graveyard land by powerful men in the village. When she refused and resisted, she was silenced forever. Armin realized the woman in white was not merely a restless soul. She carried vengeance, waiting for justice. On the fourth night,
Armin came to the graveyard not just as a guard, but as a messenger. He recited prayers and silently vowed to uncover the truth. The figure appeared again, this time not as terrifying as before, but sorrowful. Her pale face bore tears, her eyes heavy with despair. In a trembling voice, she said, "They sealed my mouth forever, but you hear me."
The cold wrapped tightly around Armin, but he didn't step back. He promised aloud, "I will find out who did this. I will make sure you are not forgotten." The figure gazed at him for a long moment, then slowly vanished, leaving behind the faint scent of jasmine.
The fifth night would decide everything. Armin entered the graveyard with a firm heart. He brought prayers, flowers, and an oil lamp for Sari's tomb. At midnight, the mist thickened again. The sobbing returned, but now it sounded less haunting, more like grief. The woman in white appeared, standing beside her own grave. Her face was calmer now, though still pale. She looked at Armin with weary eyes. He placed the flowers on her tomb and prayed. With a steady voice, he declared, "Sari, I don't know how much I can do, but I swear you are not forgotten. I will tell your story so everyone knows." The figure slowly smiled. For the first time, she looked at peace. Her form faded, wrapped in soft light, then disappeared into the night air. Before vanishing completely, a gentle voice whispered in Armin's ear, "Thank you. Now I can rest." That night, the graveyard felt calmer than ever. No more cries, no eerie laughter, only silence, soothing and deep. From that day, the villagers were no longer haunted by the woman in white, but her legend remained, whispered from generation to generation. And Armin, he became the living witness that behind the graveyard's horror lay the sorrowful tale of a woman trapped between life and death.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and follow other horror stories.